I want to share with you a tool I've created. It's designed to solve the problem of how to diagnose performance problems in PHP. The problem is it's often hard to find out where your code is going slow, and you can have big expensive loops quite easily, and they're often hard to troubleshoot. So I often find myself doing detective work when I'm hunting down speed issues, and I wanted to sort of find something that would make this easier and faster. I wanted something flexible and lightweight, and that would kind of work in any situation. So with this in mind, I developed a PHP tool I'm calling GLPTimer. It's a singleton class. You can call it from anywhere once you've included it once. It prints speed-related info to the browser inline in the HTML. And it's quite useful because you can selectively target parts of the code and profile them. So you can sort of move those targets around, which is pretty handy. So yeah, let's get stuck in and have a look at how we get it set up. Right, so go to golearnphp.com and you'll find GLPTimer over here in the sidebar. Probably the easiest place to find it. Let's click on that. Okay, so come down here, find the file, download the file. Once that's downloaded, extract it and just drag it to somewhere sensible in your PHP project. Okay, so let's get this class into our PHP project. You'll notice that I'm using here a WordPress site. It's actually a copy of the GoLearn PHP site, and that might be a little bit confusing, but really it's just there as an example because WordPress is quite good for testing. It's got lots of stuff going on. So pretty much we want to, I think in this case we'll just include it in the root of the theme. This one is based on the standard theme. So the header file is a pretty good place to start there. You can see our class, GLPTimer. So if we go to the root of the header, the top of the header, and just include this file once, and then pretty much we're going to call the snap instance, the snap method pretty much straight away, just to get that up and running. Now let's save that and have a look over here. Yeah, so this is our local site, the development site on this machine. Now it's called very early in the code, so it's way at the top here, and you'll see that it tells you the line it was called from in the file that it was called from. So header.php line 11, it didn't take very long, 0.0001 of a second, and it uses about 30 megs of memory. The file uses about 30 megs of memory. That's not for the GLPTimer, that's just WordPress doing its thing. Okay, so this is a sign that all is working. We're getting the styling coming through as well, so it looks fine. But let's do something a bit more interesting with the actual PHP. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab this method call here, and I think a good place to use it is probably, if we look at our page here, this is a standard sort of index type page, so it's listing a whole bunch of posts. I think a good place would be in the loop. So I've actually got one here that we can copy and paste, so let's just uncomment that. So actually we'll comment that out. Let's get rid of that for now. Okay, so this is going to run whenever this file is called, and that's basically once for each post on the page. Let's just test that out. Refresh. Okay, so that's the one in the header, and then our second iteration is this one here. You can see that it's got a new number that's been incremented, so from 1 to 2, and it's called from loop.php instead of header.php. It also gives you a time snapshot. Now that's the time since the previous call to that snap method, so this is where it starts to become useful. In this case, since that first call in the header, 0.0340 second has passed, and the memory is still around the same. It's gone up a little bit. Now we look at the next iteration of loop.php. Yeah, see, we're looking at a little bit more time. Now that's since the last time it was called, so that's not the total time, it's the time since the last call to the snap method. So if you look at the next one, it may have in fact gone down. Yeah, it's gone down a little bit. So each one is averaging something around that, and then that one obviously taking a bit longer. I'm not sure why that is. There's several things going on in the loop. So let's have a closer look at what is happening inside the loop, and maybe we can hone in on the things that are happening in terms of speed here. Okay, let's look at the loop. We'll go down here. We're going to go into the content is a great example of this. So the content here is a WordPress function. Obviously, if you're not using WordPress, that's fine. This is just an example. Let's put that in here. Right, so what we have now is basically the content function has been bookended with calls to snap. Let's take a look at how that looks on the page. Okay, so header line 11, loop line 69, and then loop line 71 at the end of, just after the content. So the time is 0.0354, and the time for that is 0.0111. So obviously this the time that has elapsed since the start of the loop and the first call to the content has taken this long here. It's mainly the time that's used to evaluate a bunch of things and output a title with some meta information. The content itself has taken this long. Now it's obviously generating these social icons along with probably counts and stuff like that, maybe, I'm not even sure. And so that's taking up a fair bit of time. And if we look at that one that was slow further down the page, that was that one there. Yeah, see, this one here is taking a while. I wonder if this is to do with the shortcodes involved with formatting this code here, possibly something like that. So you could start looking deeper at what's actually happening inside the content here with your particular site, and maybe improving some of those things. I mean, maybe that plugin is inefficient, maybe it's old, might need upgrading. I could probably use something a bit lighter, or consider getting rid of it. So yeah, it's really just a matter of doing some troubleshooting. I think we'll probably leave it there. I mean, you could go into looking into the functions.php file and actually hooking into this function and seeing what you can find. Maybe looking through plugins. Obviously, you know, we're now looking at kind of a page which is peppered with these little bits of information about how long things are taking. Can be quite useful. I would also look at things like the sidebars, possibly making those static if that was, you know, appropriate. Yeah, so that's pretty much the basics of the file. So go and check it out. It's on golearnphp.com. You can get to it from the sidebar there, GLPTimer it's called. Yeah, give it a go. Thanks.